Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome to Haunted West, a town called Hope, episode 2, which is also episode 3. But you know what I mean, because we had a session 0, which is an episode 0, and then 2 more, which makes this number 2, but episode 3. Haunted West is an old west alternate reality, historically grounded, exciting sort of mysterious western by Chris Spivey, who you may know for having done Harlem Unbound, which is a new take on the sort of Lovecraftian mythos, the Cthulhu mythos. And both of those are amazing. And we are currently here on the Roll20 app, which I hope you know, but maybe you don't. I'm not the boss of you. I will tell you that right at this moment, you can pre-order Haunted West on Roll20, which will come out, I believe, next quarter, and we'll have all like the details and the bits and bobs, which is very exciting. And I'm very happy to have you all here with us tonight for the continuing adventures of really one of the most awesome crews of people with all the heart and, all the grit and maybe some problems in town. It's unclear to me. So I'm so excited.
Anytime you say maybe, I don't trust you anymore. I don't trust you anymore, Trooper.
You shouldn't trust me. Like, you really shouldn't. But, I am innocent. I would love at this moment to introduce all of our players, best players of the universe. I would like each one of you to say who you are, tell us who you're playing, your character, and then I'm going to ask this question because I like to ask a question of the characters. So could you tell me what your character wears on their feet, if anything, when they sleep? Do you sleep in socks? Do you sleep with no socks? Do you sleep with your boots on? I want to know about your character's footwear sleeping habits. And so let us begin with the Roll20 community manager, Danny.
What's up, y'all? My name is Danny. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm playing Raiden, who is the Gadgeteer, and his pronouns are also he, him. And Raiden, he is a peculiar fella because he wears socks, but he always pulls them down so that his heels are out. It's one of those situations where it's like, it might be half hot, half cold. So just in case, but he'll have socks pulled down just to the arch of his foot. So just right in that in between.
I am not even judging because I can't, because I would then be a hypocrite, because sometimes I'm like, my shoulders get cold, but none of the rest of me does. So then I'll just like wear like a shirt just on my shoulders. Like it's, that's me. But
it's fine. I'm judging enough for the both of you.
Yes. Well, then that means you're volunteering to introduce yourself next. Brandy, tell us all about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandy Rose. My pronouns are they, them, and I play our drover, Nori. Nori uses she, they pronouns. Either is fine. Nori, when in the house and no longer going to leave the house, she wears slippers that her mom made when they were younger. And to sleep, she does take them off, and she usually sleeps barefoot.
Okay,
Classic.
honey, tell me, who are you? Who are you playing? And what is their footwear sleeping situation?
Hello, everybody. I am Honey, and I play Belle, the tiny hunter. And her footwear situation is she oftentimes goes to sleep with socks on because it would be cold, but wakes up without them on and has to find them. It's an ever present battle. Just went to sleep with socks on, woke up, somehow they got taken off. So
you know what? I honor that. And no one knows where those socks are. And it could be something mysterious. Nobody knows. Also now, Quinn, whose name is in the Haunted West book, I have noticed in more than one place. I feel like you're famous. Could you say who you are, who you're playing, and the footwear, sleepwear situation of your character?
Quinn Murphy, he, him. I'm playing Moses Jackson, who sleeps in a pair. He's not sleeping tonight. I just want to be clear. But when he does sleep, he sleeps in his brother George's old shoes. They had a contest on who, like many years ago, on who could like convince some old shopkeeper like to like basically like swindle some money off of them when we grift, and like the person who lost got the other person's shoes and got to wear them home. And so I won naturally. So I got to wear his things home, and I just wear them when I go to sleep because it just reminds me of George, who he's my favorite brother, but also that I got him. So
First up, can I just say I love all of that, by the way. Also, I will also note, if one of you has a burning question you want to ask, next time, just let me know, because y'all can throw out a question if you want. Like maybe you want to know what people do with their tea. I just, I'm all for it. And I am Trooper SJP, and I am your balladeer for today for Haunted West, a town called Hope. And for those of you who were not here last time, last time on Haunted West, a town called Hope. We have a small town in the corner right between the territory of Texas and the state of Sequoia and the territory of New Mexico. Small little town, which, well, it started off as town, small, founded by Black exodusters who were sort of leaving the deep, deep South in the post-Civil War era, setting up a small little town. They met with Inde elders who are the local indigenous people, and they sort of created this little town, which was quite small for a while. They were harried and stressed by another town in the area called Johnstone, founded by William Johnstone, who was a racist. And that town harassed, right, our little town. Partially, it's all about the politics of county seats. That Johnstone, the old Johnstone, was kind of big enough. The whole area might be able to become a county. They petitioned to become a county, but then Hope had struck silver thanks to some of the technology of Raiden, our character Raiden, our technologist, and then Hope just got huge, and so Johnstone basically started threatening the town, and the town went and got our heroes to go and try to dissuade them from that. There was a small little tiny demon situation that turned into a giant green fireball, and then there were ghost riders, and strange bad things happened, and the entire town basically imploded and was destroyed. So all of our problems are done, except that in the last 6 months, that town, the fellow who founded that town, William Johnstone, has come back and rebuilt it exactly where it was before. Every house in the exact same position, every street in the exact same position. And within 6 months, he got the population back up to where it was before. At the same time, they've just learned that the governor has decided that she thinks this would be a good place for a county. So she's going to come within, in the next 4 days, at this point in time, they have 3 days before she arrives, to just check out the area and find out, see what it's like and see which of the towns in the area might be a good temporary county seat before the election can take place. And at this moment, Hope is full of a number of people because this huge boom has happened, and you've got people sort of sleeping in tents, and it's very, very packed in the city center. It's quite dense. And, some people from Johnstone, now rebuilt Johnstone's refuge, rumor had it they were giving people some guff. And the head of the mayor of Johnstone, who is, Mr. Johnstone, arrived, and he was very friendly. You can ask all the players, very polite. And they found him quite charming and not at all creepy and suspicious, arriving at night in a weird way, asking permission to enter their home, which they did not give. I don't know why. And he just said that he apologized for some of his people being a little bit out of hand, and it would not happen again, and none of his people would cause any trouble to the town of Hope, and he wishes them well. I might be leaving out a couple of things. Players,
I'm just so glad he gave his word. That just
so
means
glad.
so much.
So much. So much. Now, what are the things that I left out?
We have a meeting with him.
The meeting with him? Just a little parlay.
Just a chat.
Just a chat.
More.
Sure.
He
Also,
rotted some flowers. That was pretty scary. We
well,
didn't see it in character, but
yeah,
the
did he
audience
rot
should
the
know.
flowers? I mean, all I know is
think
that
so.
there were rotted flowers in your area. And when I say rotted, I mean like all the life was drained out of them. You
I
know.
blame him. I blame him.
You just blame, but also
Blame
he had hidden underneath his his
Oh.
cuffs shackles, like the kind that enslaved people they would put in shackles on enslaved people. And he had these shackles that were made out of some kind of metal. And Raiden looked at them briefly, and they did not have any seams or work markings, as if they were like grown upon him rather than built. And in the brief moment that Raiden had to sort of spy on these surreptitiously on these shackles, he could not see a way to get them off of our dear Mr. Johnstone. But they're a little creepy. And there was a doll that was given, a present from good old Hattie Jefferson, who is 90 or 100 or 100. It's a little unclear. She's certain that she is the oldest person in town, and she wants to make sure you know it. Nori went to go and visit somebody in town, and just to say hi, see how things are going, and sort of went through the town and saw all the people. But the big deal is that our town has got to figure out how to impress the governor and get the town ready for the governor's arrival in 3 days' time. And so we are going to show up on basically, we're going to sort of open our curtain on the next day, more or less, sort of. But I figured we should maybe just see what Quinn has been up to for the last very long time period as we sort of montage around some people. So, Moses was in a barn, like the guest house, the guest house. And the first thing you did was spend about 2 hours, if I recall, drawing a protective circle.
Correct.
That is correct, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like?
Ooh. On the border of the like inside the circle are kind of like just like very like kind of like simple, like on the inner ring, it's just like very simple, like simplistic kind of like scary kind of faces. And then there's like inside of that is like just a very serene kind of like kind of like very hard line, sort of squares and like rectangles, making this sort of geometric pattern to sort of contain all of that energy. And I drew them. The floor of the guest house is dirt. And so these have all been sort of like there's like I have like a kind of a stone that's like sort of like just drawn to a point, like a little like wedge that I used to like draw and inscribe it.
Could you roll Scholar Occult and also pay 1 grit, please?
Okay.
How much grit do you have total?
3.
Nice. Grit is a resource. It's an important resource for our players and their characters, and it refreshes at the end of each adventure, not at the end of each session. So if you would roll that, I would be very appreciative. So you rolled a 52 out of a 53, so you just made it. So this protective circle is made. It seems like it's strong enough. You hope. And then you begin chanting, I assume, to summon this demon here in the dark. You will have to spend a grit to do this. That's 2 out of your 3. And you'll have to spend materials that would attract this creature. What sort of materials do you spend? What would attract this demon?
I'm trying to get the Pakad, the Terror of Night. So is, I think they are kind of like scary, like figures of kind of like they're like little like handmade dolls that I would have had sort of like either built by hand or like commissioned, with just like weird, strange kind of like simplistic but grotesque kind of like faces on them.
Oh, nice.
So like like the doll that I got, because that doll that we got from Hattie is actually in there with me, and I have turned it, just as a reminder, it. They told me to have it face the door, but once I drew the circle, I actually like picked it up and turned it towards the circle, because I'm gonna probably need all the protection that I can get, and then I have more of these dolls around.
Now you're wondering if that doll that she gave you might be perhaps special in some way. Perhaps
I sure hope it is.
Focus. So what does your chanting look like? When you try to summon this demon, what is it like when Moses does this?
When he's talking, he starts by like basically like listing its different names. So it is the demonologist version of kind of like a Wu-Tang song where he introduces like, he's like, Pakad, Terror of Night, also like, bringer of pain, kind of like he just goes by all the sort of honorifics and
also annoyer of librarians everywhere, right. Like this.
Right. And so he is like, the first part is just kind of like all of the but to bring these demons in, you have to kind of find all of those references, and you sort of like triangulate them and sort of draw them in by all of their names. So I drag him by his names to me.
Now that is going to take hours. You will not be sleeping at all through this. It's quite a physical ordeal to do such a thing. And while you are chanting, it's not 30, 40 feet from where you're at that Raiden is sleeping, I believe, on the floor. Where exactly is? I know that Raiden went to Belle's room because Raiden was not feeling very well at all, was quite distressed. Tell me what is happening. Where are you at, let's say, 3 or 4 in the morning?
So I'm at like the foot of Belle's bed. I think Belle was reading reading stories for me to fall asleep because I was going through it. And I think right when I kind of heard Belle's voice going through my head, I kind of just conked out. Like it gave me that immediate comfort. And I imagine that Belle kind of like tucked me in and then went to bed. And then within like 5 minutes, like I'm kicking my legs out, the blanket's off of me, like my feet are at my head, my pillow is across the room. And yeah, I'm just kind of like sprawled out on the floor. 2 of my limbs are underneath Belle's bed and the other 2 are just kind of sprawled out the other.
And Belle, what are you thinking at this point in time? Like, this is happening. You've got the sprawl. What are you thinking?
There is the initial it's just like just peeking, like crawling to peek over the edge. I'm just watching. Just kind of like, okay, okay, and all right, and taken back. She's got these like, um, in my family they were passed down, but there was dolls that you would make out of leftover clothing after you made dresses and things like that, and you'd make little bears out of them and so on, and a lot of them were like first sewing projects, and she's got different ones that she's made out of different ripped shirts and this and that, and so she'll always tuck a couple in with Raiden and just watches this one across the room and it's like, okay, all right, don't want to wake him because he doesn't ever wake up when this happens, and just goes back to bed, pulls the covers over her head just in case something else goes flying. Because she's a super light sleeper. But it's worth it. It's
Yeah, Raiden's like the exact opposite. Raiden sleeps through anything, probably has lost some hearing just a little bit through explosions and electrical shocks through the body. So,
And that is so like wholesome and welcoming up there in that moment. Now, I could go into town, but I feel like in town will be a lot more wholesome than what's happening in the guest house. And so I would like Moses, you to roll your summoning call. You get a plus 20% because you are in a dark and scary place, which is, good for what you want. And you also get a plus 5% for the doll that was given to you by Hattie Jefferson. Because it is indeed a focus with mystical power.
Good. And the summoning call is going to be
It should be your like your demonology or your what your relevant main skill would be.
It should have demonology.
What do you have there?
Here. Oh, I think I have. Okay, I have demonology here under the propensities as 44%. I'm just trying to figure out what my there's not like a space for it on the character sheet, I don't think.
So it's probably a cult in that case, yes?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's going to be a knowledge.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna put this as the science thing just here and
perfect.
Then roll.
Yes. So
wait. So hold on for a second. Did I add?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you added it.
I added the 25 to the roll. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes, added the 25 to the roll. Exactly. So add. Let me.
You rolled. I still would have failed miserably because I rolled high. Like to get 108 would mean I had to roll like 80,
interesting.
83.
83, something like that. Yeah.
You have to re-roll because that is not doing for me because I need to see the roll. I need to see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Okay. So
that's not going to work out. It's also just an excuse for a re-roll.
Should I just apply like minus 25 to the roll then?
Yes.
Or okay, got it. So then,
although that's actually not.
Let's try.
It's actually not right. Really, you should just add to your skill. You should add the mod to your skill in the character sheet because it matters. It gives you more cushion for Jax.
Sure.
It's better.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to do that.
Oh, actually, there's a roll modifier box.
Yeah, that's what I used last time, but it seemed to.
Oh, I see.
Higher. I'm just gonna add it. Here.
I see.
I still fails. Oh God, it's gonna hurt, isn't it?
Yes, but
okay.
Before this happens, I do want to point out that you have, if I recall correctly, 1 grit left, and also you have a posse situation, and I just want to, before we talk about what happens right here, which could be very exciting, you can spend grit to add 10% to your skill level, and you have 1 left. You could do that. You also have 2 jacks still left in your river.
Oh, okay. Oh, we still get okay.
You won't
and
give them
those
like
jacks
they will are 10% a
will-
piece to add if you can tell me how your research would help you in this moment. Oh,
and
I'm
the
sorry.
res-
You rolled a 90. I'm sorry. A 90 is always a fail. A 90 is always a fail. That is interesting. Why don't I just so let's talk about this as you do your summoning. Yes, I do enjoy things like this. So you summon. Hours go by. You are chanting. You feel something strange, like a cold wind just sort of blows through the guest house. You hear nothing. Nothing at all. It seems as if the demon didn't arrive. That's what it seems like. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure it just didn't show up at all. What was that over there? Nothing. I wouldn't worry about it. But the little dolls you had made all catch fire as you chant, and they burn down sadly and slightly. The doll from Miss Jefferson. Mrs. Jefferson still stays standing. But it went off. Your ritual did go off, but nothing happened. I mean, you would know, right? If something happened, you would know. Clearly, it just must not have been in the area, that demon. Yeah, I wouldn't. What do you do at this moment?
Like like to read through the list of name, like go through the list of names is too much to just like remember. So like Moses has sort of like this book of names for Bakad, and he's just sort of been going through them, and he's kind of like, when the draws go up, he's got the kind of like he's like most of the way through the book, and he's just kind of like, oh, huh. And he closes the book, and he feels honestly a strange bit of relief, right? Like he'd gone from this sort of tense chanting, and he's kind of like, oh, the demon's not here. Okay, right? Because the last time I summoned him, it was a bad trip, right? And I think we're just a little too eager. He's just like, oh, well, okay, well, sometimes the words just don't work, right? He sets the book down on the desk, and he's just like, just time to be over with this. I'm gonna.
Could you roll observation for me? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, if you
no,
wanted to.
No, I'm rolling.
Okay, I mean, like, if you weren't interested in.
No, let me just check it out. Okay, that time I succeeded.
Okay, well, but this is I wouldn't don't read into this at all. This is actually an opposed roll, for no reason. Was that a shadow in the corner? In the over there, in the corner of the guest house, did you see a shadow?
I think I did, and that's the only thing that stops me. I was getting ready to wipe the circle, so I could start again. I was just like, okay, it's done, and then I was like, and I'm peering into that corner and the shadow. If you're here, make yourself known.
No. You say that. And you look down at that circle, pristine and unbroken. You were about to wipe it away, but you didn't. But the shadow that you noticed, or maybe you didn't, is not inside that circle. It's in the corner of the guest house, not inside the circle. Maybe you're making it up and maybe there's no shadow at all. I would just want to ask, do you ask for the shadow to make itself known one more time?
No. This is going to probably end badly, but yes, I do.
I see.
I said, I'm going to do it emphatically. I said, make yourself known. I grab the book and slam it down on the table.
I see.
Oh no. Oh no.
That change.
That change.
No. Trooper, I both love and hate that you have a hat for this.
That's a demon.
Oh, I do.
That's a demon. Ooh.
And out of the corner, you see the shape of a man, probably, in a suit, probably, dark, probably one of those fancy suits you'd see from somebody in New York. You grew up quite wealthy. So you've, in the elite spaces, you know what a very fancy suit looks like. And this suit is fancy. You can almost feel the silk of the cravat that this person you can barely see is wearing, with a hat of a style you're not quite certain what to make of, and red spectacles. The person's face is just like a normal person's face, probably. Maybe just a little longer, just a little. Maybe the chin is a little bit more pointed than normal. And the skin is, it's a little hard to tell what color it is in the dark. But it seems like maybe it might have little wisps of shadow. And this figure, tall, thin, quiet, hard to see on the edges, and definitely not inside the circle, emerges out of the shadows, sort of just manifests. And this figure said, "Well, you have called me poorly, Mr. Jackson. I find myself free. I need you to make a terror check."
Sure.
You need to roll a D100. Normally, you would be at a minus 20, but this figure is not inside the circle, so it's a minus 30, if you please.
So just a straight D100, or
Indeed, unless you'd like to spend some of your jacks. You have two to increase that skill a little bit. As the figure just takes one more step closer to you, although it doesn't really step, it just sort of moves.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just spend. Can I just spend these 2 jacks? Just
You may.
toss them in there.
Please
Give me
do.
a shot.
But you need to tell me how your research will help you.
I mean, at this time, so Moses is a confabulator at heart, right? And so it's like this is just the kind of thing his like heart is like threatening to pound out of his chest, and then that's just pumping blood to his brain, and he's just coming up with like BS to spew and like or facts that are like relevant to the thing, and like one kind of as he's like flipping through the thing, like one comes out on that sort of like some possible like detail, some sort of like loophole in the summoning thing, like if like you don't want it to go bad, but if it goes bad, like you still have some attempt to sort of like talk and barter with this thing outside the circle.
Roll your percentile. 40 is your target number.
40, okay. 40 or under.
Yep.
Okay.
It would have been a 20 had you not spent those jacks.
Cool. I'm gonna need a spirit bomb from the crowd.
Interesting. This figure, who normally would be behind protection, moves. And when I say moves, it just moves right up to you. What is your gumption?
My gumption is 3.
All right. You will not take any damage to your lucidity because you made that roll and your gumption is high enough that as this, let's just call this person a human being type skin,
Sure.
just slides up to you this close. And as this person slides up to you, they just slide around that circle. Mr. Jackson, you asked me for something. You called me for a reason. Whatever could it be?
Well, sort of stealing myself, kind of, Moses does foolish things, but he maybe he's courageous because he does these things even though he's like scared, but like the fear is showing. I'm just like kind of like sort of like kind of like trembling when he's on me. When he moves around the circle, I like move around like we're just doing like a little thing. He could probably outrun me, but I am going to step around the other side of the circle. Yeah. Well, I needed information. You are a terror of the night, but the night holds secrets.
Yes.
And we had a caller who doesn't seem quite right, and I wanted to know what you know.
Interesting. The night does hold secrets. You hold secret, Mr. Jackson.
But I'm asking you for yours.
Yes, you're not really in a position to just ask so freely, are you?
I have more power than you know. I really hope that sounded convincing. Like I would literally try like a deception on this guy.
So you have a choice of bargaining, trickery, or command. With trickery, it's bluff, deception, or gambling.
Trickery.
Please.
I was like, I, you know, it like now I'm in full, like the fears kind of like made me bold and like reckless now. And so now it's just, no, I didn't put you in the summoning circle just so I could show you who's boss.
Indeed. You'll have to spend another grit.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Which is your last one.
Yeah.
Roll that bluff.
Is it bluff or deception?
Either one. It's your choice.
Oh,
or gambling.
Deception. I'll do deception.
I mean, I'm interesting. Interesting indeed. And this being gets very close to you, just slides as close to you as you can imagine, and reaches out a hand, and the fingers just extend, and it picks a small bit of lint off of your shirt and drops it. Messy, Mr. Jackson. You want to know secret. I want things as well. Tell me, what do you value most, Mr. Jackson?
My shoes right now. Like I've got George's shoes on my feet. These are my most important possession.
Your brother, I see. Your brother George, was it?
No.
Yeah.
These shoes.
Interesting.
The shoes.
So, let me ask you, what is your code of the West? What is your core codes?
My core codes, hold on.
For your paragon.
Right. Worldly and nefarious.
Worldly versus what, and nefarious versus what?
Oh, sorry. So it's so worldly versus superstitious. I'm more worldly than superstitious, and nefarious versus honorable, more nefarious than honorable.
Are you? Interesting. This, let's call it a person, looks at you, and you can see sort of red flickers behind the glasses as it seems to look into your soul. Let me take the measure of you. You've traveled, haven't you? You don't seem to have a lot of compunctions about doing unkind things to people. Interesting, Mr. Jackson. You seem to take a little bit of pride in your ability to get one over on people. I think you need to do me a favor.
Oh, God.
If you want any information.
What's the favor?
What is your question?
What
You had a caller.
being? What being? What has Mr. Johnston made a barter with on his end?
Ooh, isn't that an interesting question? That's a lovely question. I quite like it. Means you're smart. You assume he's made a bargain. He has. Yes, I could answer that question for you. But I need you to do something that will distress you, because I find that amusing. Let's see. Let us see. Let us see. See. You know, having you do something dishonorable would not at all be amusing, because it wouldn't bother you so much to do something like that, now would it?
I mean, I sometimes feel
Hmm.
pangs of guilt. No.
Do
Okay.
you? No. Instead, Mr. Jackson, who cares about his brother John, no, George Jackson, so much. Yeah, I feel like you need to do something honorable. Yeah, something honorable.
For George?
Oh, no. For the good of the people. Yeah. You have done some illegal things, have you not, in your life?
I mean, within a margin of error?
Yes, as has your brother, has he not?
I mean, I don't see what Georgie has to do with this.
My price is that you must tell this town's keeper of the laws, that friend of yours, Belle. She has more than one last name, I believe. Interesting, interesting. You need to tell her, as a good citizen, something illegal that your brother Georgie has done. But you must do so in front of everyone of the town. Yes, something honorable indeed. Your guilt must weigh heavily upon you. Yes, it needn't be anything capital, of course, but you know, theft or swindling or perhaps some smuggling, that's a dishonorable thing. And you, my friend, I feel like it would be most pleasant for you to be honest and honorable to your very good friend who has the responsibility to uphold the law. Yes, that I think would be the best favor that I could ask of you, Mr. Jackson.
I mean, like, Moses is just kind of like looking at, like, you know, just he doesn't really know what to say, you know. He wants that information. When?
Well. Yes. Before midnight. It must be in front of important townspeople. And it must be so that everyone, yes, will see how honorable you are. Yeah. At the expense of your brother.
And if I don't do it, you just don't return the favor.
If you don't do it, well, then you'll be seeing me more often than you probably would like. And not in ways that you would like. I am the bringer of fear, after all. And I live in dark places. And you, Mr. Jackson, have quite a few dark places in your soul, which means, well, do we have a deal, Mr. Jackson?
I mean, do I have a choice?
Yes, of course you do. But you seem like the type who cares more about the things you want than whatever might happen. Please note, it can't be something too petty. I won't find that as exciting. I want to see a little bit of fear and chaos. So no jaywalking. I won't find that nearly as amusing.
I mean,
Something.
George is a serious jaywalker.
Something that will...
No?
No. Don't cheat. I'm not in the circle. I'm not bound. You are in this moment. So, I have the power to interpret if you have cheated me or not. Yeah. Do you take this deal that I offer you out of my kindness?
I guess.
Really? Fascinating. Then we should shake on it.
I mean,
They're being honorable.
we could just have a verbal contract. Those are binding
We need to shake
by the law.
on it because it's honorable.
Well, no, you said you wanted me to do one honorable thing for my brother, and that this is not we're shaking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's shake.
Yeah,
shall we? And this being's hand extends to shake with yours. Could you roll 1d4? If you please.
This is a cautionary tale to all of you. Do not fail rolls when summoning demons.
I thought you were going to say don't summon demons.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. I mean, we can summon demons. Just don't fail your rolls. 4. What?
Ooh, that's a great roll for me.
No.
Why don't we think about something that is a part of Haunted West? I'm just gonna put this up on our screen so that the audience may see this. See, in Haunted West, people have a code. There's a code. It's like a way to sort of figure out, like, where are you at, sort of ethically, morally? And the scores you have in these things can impact you in ways, aid you or hinder you. And the things you do, they impact this score. And if you can see, there's lawful versus illicit, superstitious versus worldly, vengeful versus righteous, manners versus rugged, honorable versus nefarious, societal versus isolationist, magnanimous versus callous, hedonist versus abstemious. And may I ask you, what was your nefarious score?
12.
12. So you had a 12 nefarious and an 8 honorable. Subtract 4 from your nefarious. You are now 12 honorable and 8 nefarious, as honorableness becomes something people will start associating with you and expecting of you, and it seeps a little bit into you. And as a con man, that seems quite inconvenient.
This is gonna suck.
Yes. And your demon friend smiles with the idea that you will have to play nice. And so, your friend, well, not really your friend, he has made a deal. Oh, more than one, really. But I'll only give you one, because you asked for one. Which one would you like?
Moses.
There are 2 deals. That's free information that I give you because you're honorable and I find it amusing.
So like what thing I want to get?
Well, you want to
From here?
know about the deal
Right.
he made, yes? But he made 2.
Yes.
Which
made
deal do you want to know about? Old or new?
The deal to bring Johnston back, the town back.
Ah, well. That's interesting. Well, I'll tell you that one. Oh, my friend. There are demons who know things. You know, about life and death and undeath. Oh, this is a little bit tricky because there's more than one aspect to this little one. He's cheating, you know. But his circle was strong.
Not like,
Oh,
just like point down at the circle. Not like,
it's quite a good circle. I would be very distressed were I inside of it. Anyway, yes. You see, he is brimming with power, that one. That's old. That's old. Do you know the population of Johnstone is quite large? You have been to Chicago, is that correct?
yes.
You have. Yes. Yes, Chicago. They have quite a bit of scandal, do they not, there in their political world? Electoral scandals, I believe. Votes. Mayors win votes. Elections.
Mhm.
But not all of the people who vote are alive. Some of them are dead, yes? That's true, I've heard. Dead people voting for mayor so-and-so or so-and-so and such and such. Terrible business. It's not as bad here because at least the dead people here move and can actually cast the vote themselves. Oh. On the plus side, you don't have to feel guilty about anybody dying when that explosion happened because they're all back. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
good to know. Is there
Yeah.
anybody alive in
Oh,
that town?
yes, there are. Well, it's tricky, isn't it? Yes, I will say yes. There are certainly alive people in that town. Quite a few, as a matter of fact. Ooh, some of his friends. He's brought friends. Friend. With knowledge. You know, he's also brought other friends. I don't know if you would count them as alive. Ooh, maybe you would. Sometimes they're alive. Sometimes they're less alive. But they are not in his town. Ooh, this will be delicious. He went away and got knowledge, made some friends. He's back, repopulated his town, grew them from the ground, as it were. They'll look fine enough when this governor comes to visit and call. He has enough people who are alive enough. But they're not the ones I would worry about if I were you, my friend. But that's a different secret. Mr. Jackson, I am going to make your life eventually quite difficult. Yeah. So, my friend, I'm going to be in town watching you turn your brother in for crimes he committed. I will find this hilarious.
I'm glad you're gonna have a laugh.
I am.
I'll get the last one though.
Will you? Well, this will be fun, won't it? By the way, that doll, who made it?
That's a. I guess that's a favor that you're gonna have to get from me.
I suppose. Well, if you don't mind, the sun is coming up and I need to take a moment. I will see you in the town square sometime later today, probably, but you won't see me. If you don't mind, Mr. Jackson. Ooh. Oh, would you like a present?
Sure.
Are they alive or are they dead? Are they alive or are they dead? You know, many people would say dead. I would say worse than that. But the exciting present is this, my friend. Mr. Jackson, brother of George Jackson. How ever did he get that knowledge? It doesn't belong to him. He's been getting quite a bit of knowledge that does not belong to him, but the riddle, my friend, is this. He thinks that it does. He thinks that he owns that knowledge, but it doesn't belong to him. That's my fun little riddle for you. Also, let's hope no one kills anyone in your town. Enjoy. And the figure just
Hey, what is it?
back into the shadows. That said, I feel like we should go into town, as a matter of fact, because Nori is having, I think, just as a lovely a morning as our Moses is having, I suspect. Is that correct? Is that correct? Because I think it is. I think it is. I feel like somebody really think about this. We have some people that have friendship and they're like dolls and like covers and like telling stories with each other. We have other people who is hanging out with their friend who is the demon of terror by night, very friendly. And you also are having a lovely time. Now, I remember you have a room in the ranch house. That's correct, yes? And your bed is also in the ranch house.
Mhm,
And is it a comfortable bed?
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Was it comfortable last night?
Probably.
Probably. That sounds like you're not certain.
Well,
Hmm.
was not there
Was
last
not
night. Was
there.
not there last night.
Was not
Was
there
not
last
there
night.
last night.
Where were you? Or
Mm.
shall I say, where do you find yourself right about now? What time are you waking up?
Well, I wake up around shortly before dawn. It
Hmm.
hasn't quite started to light up the area just yet. And I am in a very comfortable bed. In a very comfortable bed. I have stolen some extra covers that were not originally mine.
Mhm.
And it is I stayed at his house,
Ah,
and
still being built?
mm,
Still being built?
mostly it's well on its way. It's just final touches.
Final
You
touches.
know, I might have been a little visually distracted after dinner when James was doing the dishes, and
Mhm.
I might have leaned against the freshly painted kitchen side, and
Oh,
maybe James found that very funny, and I
so
thought
yeah,
maybe he was just laughing a little bit too much, and I maybe got paint on him, and it maybe turned into a very
paint fight.
mature,
Very mature.
very well sophisticated paint fight.
And of course, with paint all over you, you couldn't go back to the ranch house. That would, people would talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, the bathroom is already mostly done and
Mm-hmm.
pretty all right.
Mm-hmm. And so,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So James
Mm,
is stretched out in this
mm,
bed, which has got like a nice mattress of like a sort of stuffed mattress.
yeah.
It's got sort of like a straw and it's like it's nice. It's got all these blankets, a quilt actually made by his family. And he is in that moment when he's not yet awake, but not still completely asleep because you've moved. And he's like, "Oh."
Mm.
And he looks, Nori?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Um, well, I thought I should say that I'm kind of concerned about something.
You're concerned about something at this hour already? That's a new record.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're gonna break my heart. You're a
James,
rodeo queen after all. Fall in love with somebody who rides the rodeo. That's there's
uh,
songs about
uh,
this.
you are such a drama. I, s- you are worse than any rodeo queen. If I could have broken your heart, I'm pretty sure it would have broken by now. I think that thing is made of steel.
Ugh, you wound me yet again. You know, I would like to point out that I've asked you to marry me
Um,
5 times now.
Okay. Technically, you asked me once. We were five,
Yes,
and you just
yes.
reminded me several times. You didn't actually, and she like pokes him in the chest,
Okay, okay.
ask me, and she smacks him again, by the way.
But you did say yes.
I was five.
You were 5. I was also okay. But I feel like it sort of counts, maybe.
Do I see a ring on this finger, or are my eyes misleading me? How about you check?
No.
Would you check with yours?
Uh, first off, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Mm.
You know, I just want to point out that you always, you know, you are so cruel. I have always been the picture of just calm and not at all dramaticness. And oh, huh.
Mm.
Whew.
You good? You all right?
Yeah. He looks a little pale,
Oh,
just a little.
Mm.
Well, you know, I'm a little tired. I don't normally do this, but I think I might sleep in a little bit.
okay.
I'm
Are you
just feeling
feeling okay?
just a little tired, but I have volunteered to try to go and build the 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 stand for, you know, for when the governor comes, and I do need to get up and start working on that because we only have 3 days before she gets here. But I am just a little tuckered out, so I think I'm gonna sleep in just a little bit, and then I'll get to work on it.
That sounds all right. And instead
Uh,
of getting up, she just like just lays back down again. 'Cause she was like kind of leaned up so she could smack him. And she just kind of leans back down and she goes, okay.
oh, you know, I just feel like, oh, 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 you know, would you wouldn't happen to, you know, I feel like I'm getting kind of a chill. You know, you
Oh
could
my
just
God.
stay here a little while longer if you wanted.
And she just like, me laying back down was not hint enough. Do you need, okay, fine. And she just grabs like the blankets that she stole, because she did steal them,
Mm-hmm.
as she does. Also, Nori sleeps like the dead. Like until her body is ready to wake up, nothing will wake her up. After that, sure, you can wake her up, but she has to get her 9 hours. And so she just like pulls the blanket over and like lays, like is right there, like half like on top, is like, are you good? Are you good? Is this okay? Are you good? Are you
Yes,
warm?
but I need one more thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I feel like you need to win some sort of amazing, like, rodeo, like statewide rodeo thing, and then dedicate it to me so I can know that you're serious about me.
So I can know that you're, so you
Mhm.
can know that I'm okay.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
you just might
All
be
of the titles
toying
that
with
I've
my
already won,
yes.
not enough.
Just like one dedicated to me special.
Okay. Ooh.
Because you know I have a surprise for you, but I can't tell you what it is yet.
No, you don't.
I
What?
do. I do.
Tell me.
Mm, That would make it too easy. I mean, after all, you still haven't said yes. I mean, you said yes, but you
Oh
just
my God. Fine.
Hmm?
Yes.
Wait, really?
I don't know. Well, I haven't dedicated a win to you yet, so I don't know if you really believe it. But
Okay.
Mhm.
I should get up
What?
because
Okay.
no, you just said yes. So I
Mhm.
okay. Okay. Uh okay. Don't just stay there. Stay there. Stay there. You just said yes.
She
Just stay
hasn't
there.
moved. Hasn't
Okay.
moved.
You just okay. And he gets up, and
How much
when
I
he
want you
gets
to
up,
sleep in.
he is a little lightheaded, but he kind of like shakes it off as he goes off to like there's like a little hutch, and he pulls out um a sheaf of paper, and he comes back to the bed and he hands it to you.
What is this?
It's the deed to the house that I built and that you helped build quite a bit.
I picked colors.
Eh, Well, just do you notice the just right?
She's like rubbing sleep out of her eye and like looks at it closer. What am I looking at here? What am I looking for?
The owners of the house
Why is my name on this paper?
Because I figured one day you'd say yes. If, you know.
And she just like fucking throws it. She just throws it, which is not smart. She just throws it. You get like a big, like launched at you hug and kiss. Finally, just big hug, small kiss, big hug. Are you serious?
Yes, I am. I just didn't know if you were serious. I asked Belle if she thought that, you liked me. She thought I was being silly.
It's probably because you are a grown ass man and you said like me.
I know.
To
Yeah.
Belle.
Yes. She made fun of me, but
God,
anyway.
as she should. I can't believe she didn't tell me.
I told her because anyway.
It's always been you and me.
Yeah. You travel a lot, but I don't mind waiting.
I always come back.
You do. And now
Oh God.
you have like.
Oh no, you're gonna be insufferable now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I will be the most
God.
insufferable. Also, I'm really waiting for you to reintroduce me to your family, your sisters.
You grew up with my family.
I know, but now we're official.
Oh my God.
This is going to be great.
Is it too late to say
I'm
no?
going to cook food.
Oh my God.
Yes. After the mayor.
You're gonna what?
After the governor comes,
Mhm.
and after Raiden becomes mayor and Belle becomes sheriff and all of that, we'll have a whole ceremony if you want. I mean, I want, but I mean, I could. You know what? I'm going to heat up
Get
some
me a
water on
ring.
this. Yes,
Get me a
I
ring.
am. I
Mhm.
am. I'm going to get you a ring.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought the audience was gonna say. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little tired.
Do you want to go back to bed for a bit?
I'm gonna. We should get up and start our day.
Okay. All right. And then she gets up, she grabs like all of her clothes and all of her things and goes to walk past him like she would usually just walk past him. Like she leans in and goes, "All right, husband," and goes to the bathroom to get ready.
And he kind of
laughing her
doesn't
ass
quite
off.
know what to do, right? Like he's like, oh,
This is more fun than I thought.
and he once you're in the bathroom, he's like, oh, and he decides to try to
Whispering.
clean up as quickly as possible to make it look nice, but he runs out of breath as he's a little winded, just a little pale, but
kill my man, I swear to God.
I wouldn't
Trooper,
worry about
don't you
it.
kill my man.
I wouldn't worry about it, or maybe I would. But he gets himself ready for the day. And when you come out, he sort of put, some bread, sort of like some sort of a flatbread, and a little bit of, some eggs that he'd sort of already cooked the day before. He's like, now, I'm waiting, and I'm also getting a ring, and also, I'm gonna go build a bandstand. I'm gonna go build a bandstand. We should have a band or something for the governor, don't you think? Like we should.
Right. Yeah, for the governor. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Should we just leave together at the same time? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
or this one.
okay.
Arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does take one, but she also flicks him up the head with the free hand.
Ow. I think I'm bleeding now, and that's just how you are. I'm gonna just have to suffer so greatly.
You are such a ham. You
Yeah,
are a whole hog.
I am. And he
Whole
gives you a
hog.
kiss of the cheek
Ugh.
as he opens the door, And you walk out into Hope, this town that is amazing, and it's you have 3 days to get ready for the governor. 3 days. It is not a lot of time. And everybody should be full of, it's a little late, right? So people should be up and around. Everybody should be full of energy, moving, because there is a lot to do. You have to like make sure the roads are good. You have to build things. You have to like, there's a lot. And there are people out and about. Of course there are. But they all seem a little tired. All of them, just a little tired. And you see the people, some people sitting out in front of their tents, just sort of sitting, eating breakfast listlessly. Just, I don't know, it's been a long day. I mean, I realize the day has just started, but it seems sort of like a lot. And people are just, they're not ready to get to work just yet. Not yet. It's just a little. Everybody's
I guess
just.
nobody slept very well last night, huh?
No, I suppose not. And he picks up he's got his tool belt with him. And he goes, I'm going to head to the city, the town square. Do you need anything?
Actually, I think I do.
Okay, if you say so. And he makes this dramatic gesture, which lets you know he wants to put you in a big dip.
Oh, okay. I allow it.
And he's like, and he sort of then dips you and he gives you this kiss right in the middle of like everybody. And you can hear it starting. You hear it. You hear it.
Yep.
Little things like, well, it's about time. It's been so
money
long.
Exchange of hands.
And there's some bets.
There's a lot of bets going on. I've just been waiting. Yep. Nori has her eyes closed, but like pulls back slightly and goes, if I open my eyes again and I see money, I'm telling Belle.
Everybody sort of settles up. And he brings you back up and he smiles. And he just looks a little pale yet again. And he goes, I should probably go see Belle maybe, or the doc. I'm going to go build first.
You know what? Maybe, stop in on Hattie. I think she's turning 245 today. So you should probably say hi and see if maybe she can give you one of those herbal remedies. They've been pretty good. And she pinches his cheeks, trying to get the color back to it, but also because she's annoying. and just like pinches at him and just keeps pinching.
Ow.
Kneading the face like Play-Doh.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get
you look pale. You look pale. Your mom would say you look pale, and do not sick your mom on me. So help me God, if you get sick.
No, I'm not going to get sick. I'm fine. I'm fine. And he sort of slings this belt over his shoulder as he heads towards the city center. And you can hear people chatting. People are talking about Johnstone, of course. They're saying, apparently he came and he visited everything. Apparently he's wanting everything to be, everything's fine. And you can hear people talking about how he went to your ranch and he made amends and he seems like he's going to be okay. And everything will be fine. But people are yawning a little bit and everything seems everybody's a little listless. And Raiden, may I ask you a question?
Of course.
You were having kind of nightmares the last time I spoke to you. Do you have them right now? Just the fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call them nightmares. It almost mimicked kind of those moving pictures, the one that came to life. So they were instead of an active thing, it was a snapshot where you could see one or two things moving, and it would linger way too long, and you could kind of pan around and see what's going on and what's wrong with this photo, and then it would switch. And it wasn't necessarily all bad. It was some things from my childhood. It was some things that I had never seen before. But it did come up again. Not necessarily the fire in the picture, but getting into Johnstone the first time we were there. That was a snapshot there.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to ask. I don't, because I was just one of the photos in your dream.
Mm-hmm.
You were in it, right?
Mm-hmm. I was.
Right. It's weird though. I mean, I'm not asking for any particular reason. I just thought it was weird because if I remember correctly,
Dear
uh,
God.
what was the color of the shirt you were wearing during that whole Johnstone thing the first time?
It was like a pale blue.
It's a pale blue. Yeah. Why were you wearing a black shirt in the photograph in your dream though?
I couldn't figure that one out.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And I remember like you turned to look at you and you had a weird smile. That was strange.
Slightly creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the tragedy that happened that day, but
Yeah. Bill, what do you do when you see Raiden? This look on his face.
While he's sleeping,
Mm,
what do we she'll get up like she always does, move over to where his head, because half of his body is under her bed by now. The front is kind of out. And kind of settles down there. And she makes a lot of oils and things from the herbs that she finds and plants, and there's something with lavender like effects, and she just sort of opens up that bottle and has that close by, so the fumes are coming out of it, and just hums, and sits there awake, almost like keeping watch.
mm,
and I think that humming permeates the dream. And as the picture keeps zooming in, things just start getting darker and darker, but my silhouette comes towards the camera. And that smile turns like I turn into something that I've never seen before. And I immediately wake up out of my sleep and grab and say, something is wrong, and grabs Belle and like, something is wrong, knocks over the oils. It's just shaking. It's just like, what is going on?
you know that silhouette that you mentioned? They got darker and darker.
Mm-hmm.
The weirdest thing, when it got completely pitched black, you noticed a light. Like a stripe of light that seemed to go down the silhouette. It was strange.
I think Raiden would, like, after just like grabbing Belle and almost shaking her violently, just stumbles across and grabs a piece of charcoal and some paper and just tries to mimic exactly what he saw. Like trying to, he's not an artist in any means, but just trying to put what he saw in his mind onto paper so that he can explain what is wrong to Belle, because Belle's probably looking like at him like he has three heads and doesn't know what the hell's going on. Somehow she's still cool, calm, and collected, even with me freaking out a little bit.
It's the calm and collected that you can be once you've been shaken up and you're trying to clean, and then now someone's drawing and it's like trying to keep up. All right, I'm not gonna ask a stupid question. I'm gonna just ask a basic question. I know you ain't all right, but you need anything?
Belle, I need you to go check on Moses.
Excuse, but you know he's working at his hospitality house.
I know,
tonight.
Belle. We just need to go get Moses and find Nori. There's something wrong. I have a really bad feeling about this.
Well, all right. You know how stuff works, so if you're feeling bad, then something must be off, and I did not hear Mr. Jackson come back into the house last night, so hopefully he just had a nice little get together with his hospitality friends and just fell asleep back there. And
Bel- Do you want me to
mm,
come with you? I just,
mm,
you don't have to go inside. Just yell for Moses outside. I'll get the stove
mm.
going to get the grits going. Just we need to get moving.
Okay. I wrote it down how much water and how much of the grits. If you got to balance it really
Yeah,
well.
I have it written, and he's just like flipping through this like ugly, torn up notebook with all his other invention notes. It's like, I got it. Can you
Our
please
food.
just go find Moses, please?
Rest in
Belly.
peace, those grits.
to make sure that she pulls on her just I'm gonna get some new socks. I don't know where mine are, and just gets ready for her day, strapping on her holsters and all the rest of that. Like minimum, she's not grabbing her bow, but she's got her knives. And she just pulling her hair back and heading out the door. Pauses on the porch though, like thinking, how close do I actually have to be? Goes back into the house and gets a container of salt. Looks at Ray. There's a backup one over there. Yes.
I know, Belle.
Yeah, okay.
I know.
Gets a container of salt, walks right back out, and starts to head towards the hospitality home.
Container of salt.
Yes.
You can't. Why would you make that sound
Interesting.
suspicious? It's
Well-
salt.
No, it's salt.
Correct.
I need you to make a roll for me.
Okay.
I need you to make a roll. What would be a good roll for this?
Well, maybe theology, maybe something else.
Yes, do that.
Okay, theology. I don't know why I said that, but
Yes, do that.
I'm about to fail this. But let's see, theology. Do I have anything in there? I don't think so.
That is
Yeah.
not a success,
Mm-mm.
but where did you say you were from?
Louisiana, New Orleans
That's
specifically.
right. New Orleans, yes. Yes, that's right. There are a lot of things in New Orleans, a lot of talk, a lot of stories about people. Some of the stories are a little bit strange. Yes. Salt. Weird that you picked up salt. Strange. You know what you notice on the ground? So this, by the way, is what I'm calling a... this was to see what kind of success you had. It's not exactly a fail, but it's not going to be as much as you might like. You have this container of salt, and when you look on the ground, there's some salt on the ground, but not from your container. Someone must have dropped it there. And it has a smell to it. It smells like Hattie.
Oh.
She seems to have placed some kind of barrier around your house. The entire place. Very thin. And there's something about salt, and you can't remember exactly what it was. But you know her smell because you know her very well. You know she has a smell. It's way too much herbs, way too many herbs. And this is her. But the thing about the salt is it has a bit of a color to it, a bit of a blue color to it, so it's mixed with something. And you know there's something. But you can't remember what it was. But there's something. Salt. There's something about salt. And you see Nori coming up the road. Wait. No, wait. I think Raiden was right. Something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Not my babies.
Mm,
Not my babies.
there's something wrong. You might want to check the stable.
Okay, yeah, running. Running. As soon as Nori hears a distressed like noise, takes off absolutely full speed, full tilt to her babies.
I assume you open the door to the stable.
Yeah, rip it open.
Inside, you see one steer.
Eh.
One. And you see your ranch hands, and they're sleeping. And the one lone steer is stomping on the ground near your ranch hands who just don't wake up. They're tired, I suppose. I don't know where the rest of your cattle are. But where are the rest of your cattle? Feel like that's time for break.
Ah.
Feel like that's time for break.
Ah.
It's time for break, everybody. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And I don't know, maybe they'll wake up the ranch hands. I don't know, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But our gang is together and something isn't
their asses.
right. I would like you all to hydrate, stretch your limbs. We'll be back in like what? 5-10 minutes. While our players wonder about salt. Such a good call. Everyone, we'll see you. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back for the second half of episode 2 of Haunted West, a town called Hope. Our paragons have all come together back at the ranch house after having a lovely, relaxed morning. Maybe. And they have seen that their cattle are missing, except for one, and their ranch hands are asleep in the barn. And I will then leave that to you to decide what you want to do right about now, my friends.
First thing I'm doing is grabbing the nearest item, usually like a thing of like a half bale of hay, and throwing it at the ranch hands. They're used to this, I'm sure. If they like fall asleep too much, and it's like, hey, and then but I don't want to be too loud because the steer is upset and unsettled. So I'm gonna start soothingly being like, hey, it's okay, it's all right, I'm here. What's up?
Do you have some sort of animal handling?
Yeah, I do. Let me grab my specific thing. Yes, it's like one of my specialties because I am a drover, and I have a little bit of an extra thing, a little bit in my animal handling. Looking at the sheet, I probably should have put more, but that's something I can fix before next episode.
So now there's some discussion about what to do with our modifiers. If you get a bonus modifier, I would actually just change the score itself and then change back, because it gives you a wider range of
That makes sense.
numbers that you can succeed at. Because if you get a double, like if your score is a 63, a 55, 44, 33, and 22 are all special bonuses. They're all like critical successes. So it's better to add to it, right, than subtract to your roll.
Right.
Just
Right. So yes, I
to give
do.
yourself
I have animal handling.
If you could roll it,
Mhm.
I would appreciate that. Ooh. So you calm the animal down. That's actually not difficult for you to do. The animal's freaking out. You calm it down. You don't know why. That would be what that roll was for, to sort of figure out what's going on with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be unhealthy. It doesn't seem to be injured or harmed in any way. But it's spooked.
And she's got her, like, she's doing the little ear massage, like the little behind the ear massage, just very soothing, like, hey, it's all right, it's okay, you're all right. Where are your friends? Huh? Where are your friends? And she's like looking around, trying to see like, where are all of the other babies?
How many head of cattle did you have? I feel like you had quite a lot, yeah?
Yeah, it's probably I mean, for this size ranch around this time, she's doing really well. They probably have like, what time of year is it?
Ooh, this is summer.
They would have some like not newborn babies anymore, but like quite a few calves. So they probably have somewhere around like 30, 35 in like total.
Yeah,
cattle.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And there's only one here left. And your ranch hands, of which you have about 4, are sleeping.
After the hay bale? Christ. Okay,
What are the
each
rest
of
of
them
you
gets a
doing?
very loving kick in the shin.
You all see this, right? You've got your ranch hands and they're sleeping. They get some kicks in the shins. What are you all doing?
I am trying to figure out where everyone is. Belle was coming out of the home. Nori was coming towards the home. Nori booked it for the stables. Raiden was making grits.
I think I might be alone in the stables right now.
Moses, did you leave?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Where I think Moses is right now is Moses is walking out of the guest house, exhausted. He hasn't slept. He's shoeless. He's got George's shoes kind of like in his hands. He's just sort of kind of moping a bit, just sort of shuffling and kind of dragging his feet, bare feet through the dirt. And he just sees Nori over in the thing, is like, and kind of like would sort of walk off And so I think he like sort of slowly followed. So by the time that Nori got sort of is dealing with all of this stuff, he might just be like walking in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when Nori heard the single cattle cry, he freaked out and just grabbed the cast iron that was on the heat and walked out with it, and is now standing behind Belle, probably like maybe 10 feet back, with just like a boiling pot of grits, and is just like
Our breakfast.
Okay, you know when I told you that story about one of my uncle's friends who was having some issues and then took the boiling pot of grits and solved the issues? I'm okay. Whatever you need to do to feel secure. Nori has run into the stables. There was a sound. Moses ain't got no shoes on and also went into the stables. Just remember it, you have to use the torque from your waist when you toss the grits. You don't use your arms, it will splash back on you. You gotta just lean into it if you're gonna use the grits, okay?
Are you planning that we have to use the grits? Is everything okay?
I don't know. I heard one cow. There's usually a lot of cows. Moses ain't got no shoes on, and he came out the hospitality house. I don't know why.
What happened to Nori's cattle? Oh my god!
You know, I just want you to know the flowers was dying. I gotta see Mama Hattie sometimes today. A man that may have been death came last night after hours and kissed my hand, and now I had to burn my favorite shirt. There's a lot happening in the last 24 hours, and I just want you to know I am so glad that you became my friend in not the most ideal of situations, but all right, here we go. We're gonna look in this stable.
Hold, can you? And then Belle, Raiden kind of holds up that awful looking drawing, and it just looks like charcoal on a piece of paper that's just chaos. And but you just see this like clean white line behind this like tall, eerie silhouette, and it's just like, Belle, I'm gonna burn this, but this is what I saw in my dreams. We need to go find Nori and Moses.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go find Nori and Moses and whatever else is in here, and yep. Make sure to contain the top on whatever salt container she has is loose, and sort of reaches down and pulls a knife out of her boot and just holds it with the blade against her forearm in practice use. All right.
Yeah, I think Raiden would take that drawing, and there's like a stake, and then he just kind of slams it on there and takes a cattle prod or something that's close by, and it's just grits in one hand, cattle prod in the other, and it's just like, I'm following you.
Yes, okay, and it's just tiny Belle
and super tall. Raiden's about 6'4", super
peeking around the corner though, not entering. Nori, Moses, y'all doing okay in there?
We're fine. Everything's fine. Well, I mean, you're fine, aren't you? Buttercup's all right. But Buttercup, where is your mama? Where's your mama?
I get observation rolls from all of you? A little bit of observation, and just from all of you. What we got? Oh,
Honey.
All right. You have 2 jacks. Would you like to save them or use them? What would you like to do with those?
How many do I have in my deck? I have 2.
Yes. By the way, I'm going to make a little bit of a house rule. Because I believe that friendship is magic. You can spend your jacks on your friends if you like. Because friendship is magic.
Ooh, that's nice magic.
Okay, troopers like, y'all are gonna need these jacks.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Although I just want to note this feels like that part, like when you're in the video game and they like give you like health packs, ammo, and stuff. Like you get the bonus,
You have
and
to
then there's just
save.
this door there to open, and there's nothing behind the door. So I'll take it. But
Good. Mm. So would you like to use those jacks in this roll? Would you like to bank them?
I had 2 that I got.
Mm-hmm. And you currently have 2 as well.
If I use them, does that give me more information?
It does. Each one you use will get you more information.
I will use, and I already got a 34.
So you get a base success, which means you're going to get some stuff. And
Mhm.
then for 2, you get more stuff. Like for each one, you get more stuff.
Sounds like you're gonna like if you're in an arcade and you get like 10 extra tickets, you get to like this whole other wall of prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So
When is the teddy bear, honey?
I'm going to use them just because Belle's background and her observational skills, and Raiden has grits, and Moses ain't got no shoes on. So,
All right then.
Title of this episode: Moses ain't got no shoes on.
When you walk in, the scene is before you, right? The stables are completely empty, right? Like you've got this is like an internal pen, right? And it's completely empty except for Buttercup and 4 of your ranch hands who are asleep, and a scene of violence as Nori physically assaults your ranch hands.
They are love taps. They are love taps. If you have lived in the South and you have slept when you're not supposed to be sleeping, you have received a love tap before with a steel-toed boot.
You have to like tap them quite a bit, and
It's
after
in the shin.
Yeah, after a while, they finally start coming to. Just a little groggy,
Sore.
just a little groggy and sore, and Cookie just goes.
Well, I would never kick Cookie, to be fair.
Oh, thank you, because Cookie,
I would never kick Cookie.
but you've got Zeke,
The others.
and Zeke and Jose
Mhm.
and Maria and Josiah. They're there and they are slowly coming to. They just look super, super tired, just really listless, a little pale, but very tired. And they sort of come to and they're like, oh. And they just sort of like get up like they've got to do their work. They just look a little out of it.
Do you see Buttercup right here? Do you see Buttercup? And she has like Buttercup's face because you can manhandle babies. She just has a face up here. It's like, do you see these big peepers? Do you see Buttercup? Yes. Maria, yes. Do you see Buttercup's mama anywhere in here? Do you see anybody's mama anywhere in here? Do you see anybody else in here?
Oh.
Did you lock the gates last night?
Yes, ma'am. Belle, you got that observation roll, right? As they're kind of freaking out a little bit because there's a little bit of yelling going on and you don't really want to get Nori mad at you, you notice a couple of things. One, there are footprints in this stable. And you know the footprints of your people. There are 2 sets of footprints you do not recognize. They're barefoot footprints. Because they hit in some of there's like some muck, right? And you notice there are 2 sets of footprints that you don't recognize that seem to have walked around the area towards where the ranch hands were sleeping out. And then there's that other thing you notice. On Josiah, you notice like what looks like fingerprints on his neck. just like on his neck, like little fingerprints, like somebody pressed on him a little too hard. Not Nori though, because she only kicked him in the shins. She didn't actually
Hands are
press
way
on him.
too small anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's two of the three things you notice. I'll tell you the third later. I want to see what you want to do about that.
Yeah.
That
So
was
everybody's in the
Mhm.
stable. So yeah, Nori would look up and be like,
Belle takes the time. She walks around making her observations.
Lots of
Do you
cattle
point?
tracks.
Do you point out any of the stuff, like especially the stuff on the necks?
Yeah, Bella's gonna be like, Nori, it's obviously things are not fine, but there's only 5 of them, and you have a whole bunch of cows, and they are gone now. So this is all right. My Cookie, Zeke, Jose, Maria, Josiah. Hey, how your mama and them doing? How's everybody? Okay.
And you can tell they're embarrassed,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're embarrassed because they feel like they really messed up, but they also are confused because they're not quite certain how any of this happened. You can tell that like they are not certain like what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see because they're checking to find out like where the light is. This is disorienting to them and they look exhausted.
All right, so I'm gonna ask 3 questions like I always do. None of y'all are in trouble, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Nora, just look. All right, anyways, yet. None of y'all are in trouble yet, okay? 1, do any of y'all remember falling asleep?
Zeke raises their hand.
Okay. You remember falling asleep? And before you fell asleep, did you hear or see cows? All right. Okay. So, and everybody else, do you remember last night seeing or hearing cows?
And they kind of look at each other and like Cookie has like roused and is like watching the whole scene. And your 4 ranch hands like they kind of huddle up a bit. And Maria raises her hand. And I'm going to note your ranch hands are like 16 to 19, right? Like they're apprenticing basically, right? They're learning this. And your 19-year-old was not originally supposed to be a ranch hand, but was supposed to be Maria's supposed to be doing basically learning blacksmithing from her family, but she did not want to be a blacksmith. And once you really set up, she's like, "Ooh, can I come over here?" So she's a little bit older, but she's taken to this. She just did not want to be a blacksmith. She's okay. She actually does. She started doing like shoeing some of your horses right here.
farrier.
Yeah, right. She did a little bit there, but she really kind of just wants to ride. But so she raises her hand and she's like, so we were all playing cards and everything was here and we locked everything up and then we just went to sleep. I had a weird dream.
Okay. In any of your dreams or recollections, this is the next question. Did you meet or see Jesus? Oh, okay. And
No.
you didn't
No.
see him? Okay, because there are 2 sets of footprints. Now, normally there's supposed to be 1 in those particular circumstances, and it's normally sand, but we in a stable, so I thought maybe he brought a helper.
Oh.
There's 2 footprints. Moses.
Yeah.
And Jose. Come here. No, Josiah. Oh Lord. Josiah, you, come here.
Josiah and Jose are twins, by the way.
Yep. The one with the you know who you are. We're not playing tricks this morning. Come here. Okay. First, Moses, you gonna put your shoes on? any time where you just barefooting it?
Just, yeah, just mm, later.
Okay. So look at his neck. Now look at his neck. Okay. Got some handprints there,
What's,
right?
what's this? Can I make a scholar occult roll?
Yes, you
on
may.
this?
I think you should. I think that would be a great idea. I think that would be awesome.
Oh,
This is
Just
my
That's
day.
by a 1. I have a question. I will allow Belle to use her observation, one of her observation jacks, to bump up that score by 10 if she so desires.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Thank you.
Just because we need some.
Tell me how your observation helps him with this.
Belle is going to point out the details, like go over it in almost an analytical way. This is what it started. This is how we locked up. This is who they are. This is what their shoes look like. Now we in this situation. Josiah's neck messed up. And I said, they too young, and so this obviously did not come from cards. And there's 2 sets of barefoot prints in the stable.
And I think at first Moses is just kind of like, whatever. It's just sort of like zoned out. But as Belle kind of relays more of the details, he sort of starts paying attention. He's like, oh, or, and then I'll like just by habit, he just sort of gets into it and is really like looking and studying. And
Have you ever seen, did you ever, when you get like a piece of fruit, like a really, really slightly overripe piece of fruit, like a nectarine or a peach. And you know how when you take that nectarine, that peach, I don't know if you've ever done this, where you take it and you kind of press it with your fingers, so like but you don't break the skin, so the whole entire peach or nectarine is like really juicy underneath. Have you ever done that?
yeah.
And then have you ever like taken a small bite of the skin and then sucked the juice out, and then when you look at it, it looks a little bit shriveled? Have you ever done that? No? Oh, I mean, I have. Could you imagine that those fingerprints looked like somebody just sucked like the moisture out of Josiah?
Ew.
Just right where those fingerprints would be.
He's a pro.
And it's like the edge, like you can see the fingerprints, and the edges of the fingerprints are like puckered, like somebody put their fingers on someone and then just. And I will note, he doesn't look so bad. He just looks sort of pale and exhausted. Does anybody have medicine or first aid of some sort? Some kinds of healingness?
I do.
I have such low first aid. It might be more dangerous for me to try it on them.
But if you have some first aid, you can aid each other. You can like.
Wait, guys,
Aid
do
each
we
other
all
too.
have first aid?
I got medicine.
I just have first aid.
We got a little bit of first aid.
So who's got the highest versus medicine versus first aid?
I'm 15 first aid.
16 first aid.
37 for medicine.
39 for first aid.
Mm-hmm.
Would be
Oh, pardon me. So I would say one of you should take that center roll and get the help from the others.
Do you want me to roll it?
Yeah, Belle, you're all up in there.
Yeah. You have the highest one.
Take it plus 20.
Okay, let me add this in here really quickly then. Make this 47.
That's not the right number. That's the wrong number. Yeah, so you actually hit that, right? So you hit that by, because you're number 39 plus 20, that's a 59. So you get 2 jacks out of that.
Okay.
2 jacks in first aid.
Okay.
Wrong direction, right? Because you took them away. Do you want to keep those jacks, or do you want to bank them? Bank them or use them?
Does anybody need anyways, y'all can translate that into roll it 20 speed. Okay. I will go ahead and bank them because I'm doing this with the other people, correct?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Yeah. All right.
So, and you also see it, our medical specialist. Each one of them is, how do I put this? Injured. Let's say it's the equivalent of, if we were going to, like, use a rules thing, like they've each lost 1 vitality, which is not a lot, but it's a little bit. And it's one of those things you can see kind of bruising, and you know how to fix it, right? 2 jacks. You could easily bandage that up, which I imagine you do. Yes, you go and heal them up a little bit. And you've got some herbs, some poultices, and here's the thing from that roll. You should be able to fix them up right as rain. A little bit of like poultice there and there, that'll fix them up, and they should be fine. They should get their vitality back. But they don't.
Of course not.
And that is not right. It's like, when you that putting a little bit of a Band-Aid and some hydrogen peroxide is going to fix that up, and you do it and it doesn't actually get better.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. What I need all y'all to do is go get cleaned up. You gonna we still gonna give you your wages and stuff for today, but go on and head into the town, and I want you all to go to Mama Hattie's and just really tell her happy birthday. And in exchange, more than likely, she will give you some type of blessing. Whatever she gives you, take it. Do you hear me? I don't care how weird it looks or what it smells like. Okay.
Miss Bell, but it's probably going to smell weird.
It is gonna smell real weird. But I need y'all to go into town, find Mama Hattie. You can go to the general store, get her some stuff, bake her a cake. I do not really care, but spend the day with her today and let her give y'all some blessings or whatever she calls it.
How about this? Accept the blessings, or you don't have a job anymore. Seeing as I don't have any cattle right now, and might not need as many ranch hands.
No, okay. And like Maria pushes Josiah, and like Jose's like, I didn't get pushed, and then Maria pushes Jose, and then and like Zeke, who's the runt, is like, and like sort of like heads out.
And like Brayden waves them down by the barn door and is like, wait, which one of y'all had a dream? Did all of y'all have weird dreams?
And Zeke raises their hand. I did. And they're like, and they all nod and Maria goes, I dreamed that 6 men came in and they took the cattle.
You didn't lead with that.
Oh, it was a dream though. And then she kind of looks at the barn, which is completely empty, and she's like, and Josiah and Jose are like, we also had a dream of, I didn't realize we had, yes.
What did they look like?
The 6 men, they had bandanas over their face, like bandits. But it was a dream though, so.
I mean, this looks pretty much not like a dream.
It's a lot like a nightmare.
Zeke, did you have the same dream? What did you dream?
And Zeke leans into you. Zeke's 15. I dreamt that two shadows came with a bright light, like their back, like a light on their back, and they flew in, and then they kissed each one of us with their hands. It was a dream. I didn't,
Lord Jesus.
I was very quiet.
You're not in trouble, Zeke.
You're my favorite, Zeke.
And Raiden would kind of put a hand on his shoulder and is like, all right, go find Miss Hattie. And y'all be safe. And he goes back to the team and it's just like, looks at Belle, still holding this now cold pot of grits, and it's just like, I think Zeke might have had a parallel dream to what I was telling you about earlier, Belle.
Oh, okay. So now we're gonna talk about dream. Nora, did you have a dream last night in your bed in the house that we all share?
This is not the time.
I cannot believe you didn't tell me he was gonna ask me to marry him.
Oh, you just go come. I thought we were still hiding stuff. Okay. Congratulations. I'm so glad that that has happened. But did you have a dream last night wherever you rested your head?
I don't think so.
Raiden looks over at Moses, down to his feet, up at Moses. What about you, Moses? Did you have a dream?
Didn't sleep.
Did you did you see 6 men come in? Did you see shadowy figures with lights on their back come in?
I saw a shadowy figure.
Oh, Lord.
Moses, did you call a shadowy figure? Moses?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I did.
okay. So this is a no disagreement. We are a family. We are found family. This is a safe place that we are in this particular situation. Let us go back to our house that is within some type of circle that Mother the Hattie has set up for us, okay? And then, Moses, you can tell us if you, I probably saw the exact opposite of Jesus last night, and whether or not that person or thing left footprints as well. Because we got traumatized youngins, missing cows, cold grits, a new affianced person who can't even celebrate it now because all she got is a buttercup left, and you ain't got no shoes on. So
I'm gonna ride the perimeter real quick on Ariche, and I'm gonna wake up the girls. They're probably still in my room, and I'll have them look around, see, because and you know what? I knew his word wasn't worth anything. I knew his word wasn't worth anything. I bet you anything that the men that came and took my cattle are from Jonestown.
That seems ridiculous.
there's no people in Jonestown, so you say
Most of the people in Jonestown, almost everybody in Jonestown are dead.
we got. Is this new information that we have? It's not that there's no people. They dead.
Or brought back to life. And they're not alive. Johnson has made some pact. That's what I was finding out. That's why I haven't slept.
Okay, then dead people stole my cows. I don't care. I want them back.
Jonestown did its own rapture. That's what has happened.
I mean, they seem a little more than just dead. They seem to be doing something. He's playing with pretty potent powers.
Well, that meeting today just went up in stakes.
Yeah. You ain't getting no sleep. Raiden didn't sleep well. Nora, you look like you slept very well and woke up to good news.
Thank you.
So let me fix y'all something to eat so y'all can rest. And
hands you the pot of cold.
Thank you for this.
Cold grits.
This is. I'll teach you in the next couple of days how this one works. This is a heftier weapon here. This is different. Once they solidify, it's a whole nother weapon.
Well, hopefully we won't have to use grits as weapon and we could just eat them next time.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Come
we
on,
could have
Rose.
an undisturbed meal in this house.
She's just gonna gesture. All right, and we leave. Oh, Buttercup, I
Yeah,
do
can we
not
take
want.
Buttercup?
Yeah, can
Yes.
Buttercup
Take
please come in
Buttercup
the
where?
house?
In the you want to take
Just in the
Buttercup?
foyer. You know Buttercup. Look at his face. Look at this. And Buttercup's big lashes just opens. Buttercup is about 3 months old. So
Okay.
it's not a cow. She's not a cow. She's still a calf. Very knobbly kneed. Just kind of everything moves like Bambi on ice,
Yeah.
but on the ground. And just big face, big eyes, tongue occasionally drooping out. I gently put it back in. She's not the brightest of the cows. If anything, I think she might be still here because she was too stupid to follow
Yeah.
everybody else.
All right, we're
She's
gonna
special.
take Buttercup in the house. Do we bring in the cows in the house? Yeah, I did. Duh. So and I'll be in there in a minute. And Belle is going to do another walk around in that stable because
Because you've got one more.
yep.
You've got one more observation.
Can
What?
Raiden look at the footprints?
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
after shaking out his arm from holding that heavy pan of grits for so long, he reaches into his backpack and brings out just like a huge magnifying glass. And I just want to look at these footprints to see if there's any residue or anything weird.
Here's my question for you. You have a couple of different options. You could go with observation if you wanted. You could go with medicine if you wanted. That would give you different information. You could go with...
I have survival. Would that work? Like tracking or
Yes.
or also research is another one.
You can pick whichever one you want. You'll get different information for each one. I will give you a plus 10% for your gear.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well,
so just note it. Just note that you're going to get that plus 10% in your skill.
Yeah.
For whichever one you choose.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of different skills that could get you information about these.
When you said medicine, that's interesting.
Is it?
It's a little interesting. So
yeah, that's weird.
Let's roll medicine.
Be different information though that you'd get.
Yeah, but I mean, Belle already found the regular observation, so let's see what this gives us. Oh, close.
But I don't think you added in the extra 10, right?
I did.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
I added it directly.
Hey, you know what's funny about? Tell me, I would like to know where you get your medical skills.
Growing up, moving really from job to job, we were working in the fields a lot. And we would learn small things here and there just about if someone caught a fever, this is how you take care of them. These are some home remedies. So I learned from a lot of different people growing up, and just everything from a mild headache to someone that has been in bed and is bedridden for weeks. And it's just kind of casually observing, but that's just the type of person Raiden is that when one thing happens, he's going to not necessarily ask questions, but listen and be intent on knowing what's going on, why things are happening the way they are.
And Moses, you have a peculiarity that gives you information about supernatural. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have the nightmares.
All right, just note that. Raiden, where were your parents? Not for no reason. Where were your parents born?
They were born in China. And they immigrated over here probably around the 1840s, early 1840s. And they were pretty much kind of nomadic in the fact that like when they got off the boat, they were just looking for any way to survive, really. So they moved from job to job. They made some deals here and there. My mom went off into the army, and my dad was obsessed with the gold rush. And so yeah, they're one of those people. They wanted the best for our family, but that also meant finding any and all opportunities, good or bad, to be successful.
Who is the oldest person you've ever examined medically?
It was probably someone's great auntie who was in we didn't know what the disease was. We would probably guess she was around 80 years old. And Raiden was still relatively young, but it was the only time that my parents referenced like, oh, she reminds me of your grandmother. So that memory kind of stuck out to Raiden.
You know what's funny is that when people are very, very old, like they have a different kind of, especially if they're from, how would I put this, the old country, right? They sometimes have a different, like their toes are a little bit different, especially if they didn't grow up wearing shoes at all, right? Their toes have a little bit of a different, right? They sort of splay out. They don't sort of like crush in because of shoes. These tracks are old, really old. They remind you of like some great uncle, nuncle, right? Some sort of great old person from some old country with a very different diet and way of walking. And there's a weirdness about them. The width of the feet says to you that this is probably somebody heavy, but yet there's no depth to the tracks, very little depth, like they have no weight at all. There's a kind of a weird disconnect between those two things. And it's like there are claws at their toes, which is a little weird. Could be long toenails, maybe.
Worse, actually.
Yeah, it's a little unclear if they're really like claws or long toenails or claw-like toenails, but you can notice them. And there's just something. This is weird. You know, in the beginning, it looks like they came in through the front door. And if you look at the tracks coming in, there's something desiccated about them. Like you can see, because like this is like they're stepping on basically muck and kind of mud, so you can kind of get prints in there a little bit. And it looks like their feet are dehydrated of some way, right? And the feet moving towards the hands, the field hands, look dehydrated, but the feet walking out don't. They look plump and well hydrated, shall we say. So walking in, thinner, little bit more skeletal, walking out full of bodily fluids, shall we say.
Shall we not?
I mean, one could imagine. And here's the weirdness. The tracks stop. Like I don't know. I mean, like they flew away. Weird.
So as Belle is making her rounds, Raiden is just frantically looking at, just following these tracks and like writing down, and like finishes up again with this ratty old like notepad. And it's just like, all right, Belle, The depth of the footprints were very light before. They reminded me of this great auntie that I used to take care of. And my job was just to put on socks, but there's these weird feet, but then the feet, the nails, they don't track. And as they move towards there, pointing towards the door, they get deeper and then they just disappear.
Okay.
They're gone.
Yep. The light on the back, like wings or something. I don't. This is not people I can deal with. Animals I can deal with. I know that there are a certain number of things I can do to them, and vice versa. But I don't. This is outside my level of expertise.
Can
So
I
they
get some
would-
scholar occults?
I have scholar. I don't know what that was attached to.
I would like some scholar occults from some people, and I'd like some observation from Nori as well.
Nori was checking out her
Yep.
babies.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for her babies. All right, that's
Whoa.
Whew.
Whoa. Bell rolls a 2. What was your scholar number? Was a 92?
Mm-hmm.
All right then. That's 9 jacks. That is 9 jacks. How much would you like to use for this roll?
Who rolled something that can I use it in multiple ways, or do I have to choose one action to do with the jacks?
No, you can choose some for your roll, some to bank. You've got options. You've got
So
options.
who really needs to who would benefit the most in this storyline from succeeding in the roles that they just failed? Because I would give them jacks to get at success if they would like
I don't know if
them.
I'm close enough that Jax would help, but Nori would be using it to try to see what she can learn about where the cattle went and why there's no footprints for the
There's a
cattle.
huge
Yeah,
I'm
I'm too far from my target to really be able to use some like.
Or we'll get
yeah.
Nori up. Or Jax would get Nori to a success.
I'll go ahead and give Nori 4.
We'll shoot you 5.
I'll go ahead and bank 2 and use 3.
Okay. Hey, Belle. Didn't you say you were from New Orleans?
Yep.
And I'll note that those are scholar occult.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn was saying something about not being dead, right? Right?
Moses, yep. Moses was
Yeah,
talking
Moses
about
was saying
they're not
that.
dead.
Quinn, by the way, Moses hears a strange whisper. And right now, Nori is sort of looking for tracks. It's, there are these stories of people who they could do a thing to you and bring you back to life after you were dead. Or maybe you weren't really dead. It's unclear. They're called zombies. But here's the thing. You've heard stories about zombies, stories that people who are not from New Orleans would tell stories about zombies. And their stories about zombies are like, they're dead corpses that just rise and they eat your brains. There's a whole kind of thing like rotting flesh. There's a whole bunch of stories about zombies that those people tell, But your people tell different stories about zombies. Not the same ones at all. It's like someone evil does this to you before you die, and they bring you back. And it's unclear sometimes if you're really dead or not what that means, but it's like slavery after you die. The one thing about being enslaved is that like once you die, you're good, right? But it's like they keep you. But here's the thing. This is not everyone can do this. This is like a ritual. And this is a kind of a ritual that belongs only to people who understand the old religion. That man, Johnstone, should not know those things. That is, if this is what you think, which maybe explains the salt, because the salt can break you of this, you know? He shouldn't know that, right? That is the Orisha, right? That is old magic. That's not for him to know. So it doesn't make sense that he would know it, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Except there's one other thing. And this, I don't want to tell you. You probably don't want to hear it. All right, I'll tell you. Miss Hattie, she told you a story once about monsters. You know, she was from Africa. They took her from there. And you remember one time she said, when they took us, they didn't always take what they thought they were taking. And other things got on the boat than just people. And she said that sometimes there are sort of like monsters from back home who she didn't really want to talk about it too much, but she said she remembered them and that wherever they came, death followed. But she had a name for them you can't remember exactly. Started with an O, maybe. Is something from the homeland. But Slim joked and said she didn't know what she was talking about. You remember that? There was a conversation and she insisted it was real. And he just said there are no such thing as vampires. And she said they're not vampires. And she was very agitated, trying to insist there was a thing. But maybe this was that. There was something about... He said, well, point them out then. Show me these vampires, these spirits. And she said, they aren't vampires. And she said, they look like just like all the rest of us in the day. You know, it's like an old story, but now it feels like maybe it wasn't an old story. But that also doesn't make any sense. What would this have to do with him? Johnstone. People from... creatures from the old country here. That doesn't... All of this points to something from the old country here walking, but it doesn't make any sense what he would have to do with it. Him. Doesn't make any sense. Nori, you're looking for tracks, right?
I whistled Adiche over to me, so I've got my trusty steed with me. Get the searches.
And you do you mount up and just give a perimeter? Yeah. You ride. Some observation. It's fine. It's fine. And you see some tracks of the cattle. Other horses. Somebody led your cattle away. You could follow those tracks. Would you like to?
Yes, I would. I would like to follow those tracks.
Yeah.
Oh.
By yourself.
Oh. I mean, I have my horse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't need.
Body chase like saved my life before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. What about you, Moses?
So I didn't know. So I uh, failed my observation roll, but I definitely wouldn't follow kind of like if there were like some interesting like tracks. I definitely follow
Yes.
Nori out.
Yeah.
good, cool, good.
Yeah.
Someone
What
has to take
about
Buttercup
you?
into the house.
I really I feel like Raiden should take Buttercup into the house.
Woof.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody else is so busy. Also, you think you heard something.
In the house?
Yeah. I think it was Cantonese. Maybe? Raiden, did you hear Cantonese in the house?
I did. It was muffled. I haven't spoken Cantonese in who knows how long. But the voice seemed familiar, and the intonation was kind of jarring a bit.
Yeah. And if you're going to take Buttercup in anyway, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah. So Raiden goes into the house to take Buttercup in, and Nori is riding out to check these tracks, and Moses is following. Moses, are you on horseback?
Yeah, I would assume so. I'm not a great rider, but I can ride.
What about you, Belle? Your friends are riding off on horseback. And I did promise you one more observation, Jack, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
You can see them cresting over the ridge. They're going to be outside of your vision pretty soon. And you see a glint very far away, like in a tree. It's one of those things you wouldn't notice it, you know what I mean? But like a glint of metal, as if someone were laying weight with a sight or a scope, perhaps? Quite far in the distance. Your friends might be heading into an ambush.
Mm-hmm. Bella's gonna go get. It's gonna call up Raiden. When you finish in there, get Buttercup comfortable and get your horse. We gotta and she's just gonna go run, to get her own horse.
And Raiden says, I'll be right there.
Okay, you don't have to get attitude about it. And then she's just gonna go like okay. And he's gonna get her gear and her horse.
And then Raiden comes out of the house and gets on his horse and nods to you and rides up beside you to follow you.
Oh. All right, that's a trap. I know that because our ladies it's never mind. We're not gonna talk about that. Come on, she's just gonna go off, and
Raiden says something that is a little weird and says, "Yes, Miss Bell."
Uh-huh.
Okay, first of all, if you didn't want to take the cow in the house, you could have just said, "I want to take the cow in the house." You know, God. Okay, come on, we got stuff to do. She just goes.
Stop, Danny. I love you so much. And as you two go to ride off after your friends, all like two of you in the front, two of you coming up in the rear, cresting over this ridge, and then you're coming down into a little bit of a valley outside of Hope. And these tracks of all of your cattle are heading off. Someone seems to have drawn them away. I would say roll for initiative, but it's the end of the episode. However, y'all are gonna go roll for initiative, but that'll be next week. Yeah. Hey, there's just a little gully that you're going to go into, and I'm sure that weird little glint will be fine, and maybe you can warn them about
maybe it's treasure.
Maybe it's treasure. Maybe it's treasure. I'm sure that Miss Bell thing from Raiden is not at all bad. So hey everyone. I want to thank you all for being here. It's lovely to have you here. Episode 3 is next week. And next week, I'm going to tell you a couple of things. One, Danny won't be here next week, Mrs. Torrance. But Raiden might be here next week. Raiden will definitely be here next week. Oh. Nice. So anyway, if each one of you would do me a favor, I would much appreciate it. Could you tell me who you are? And could you tell me, like, give some hype where we can find you? And I would love for you to give some love to someone. And also, I would like you to do one last thing for me. I would like you to give me your character's thoughts as you are on the trail of these clearly not an ambush cattle prints. Clearly not an ambush at all. Cattle prints meant to lead you away from hope right about now. And I'm sure that the protectors of hope being led away into clearly not an ambush will not at all be problematic. I wonder what's happening in hope right now. I want to go with Danny last because that'll be the most exciting. I want to start with Quinn. Quinn, tell me, what is Moses, who is hot on the heels of Nori following these tracks? Who are you? Give some hype, give some love to somebody else in the cast. And then, yeah. What is Moses thinking?
Quinn Murphy. You can find me on Twitter, pontificating on all sorts of tabletop stuff on QH_Murphy. Also a freelance game designer. I have a bunch of stuff coming out in general, some of which I can't talk about now, but some it'll be out soon. And then I want to give love to I just really love the scene with Nori and the sort of like romance. It was just like super adorable, and it was like a very, very nice like palate cleanse from like the like demon kind of gonna mess you up there from my wonderfully failed role. So yeah,
You got the info?
Yeah, I got the info. So hey,
just wasn't the best
win-win.
deal for you.
No. That I got that info at cost. And Moses's like kind of like last thoughts here is just like are basically it's real simple. Georgie's never gonna forgive me, is he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what demons are about. Demons are all about it. Demons are all about it.
I am gonna fix this demon. Oh, it thinks it's got me. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. It does think it's got you, but it can think that right now because it was not in a circle.
Right.
Since you mentioned Nori, Brandy, we're gonna go to you next. Who are you? Give some hype, give some love to somebody in the cast, and then tell me what it is that Nori's thinking right now.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandy Rose. I am a show developer, creative producer, and a talk show host, several time over at this point talk show host, with my 10th own show coming out into my network, which is actually what I'm currently in the process of doing. All of my shows are going to be coming together to form a network, which is really, really exciting. A bunch of them you can already find on Spotify. Just put Brandy Rose in, they will come up, except for Chewing Gum for the Brain, which is not yet on Spotify and also not produced by me. That's my one show that I co-host that I do not produce, for once. And yeah, make sure you check those out. Apart from that, I'm a game designer. I'm also currently moving, so all support is very, very gratefully appreciated. But yeah, I'm a game designer. I teach game design and I show people a little bit of the ropes. I like to demystify game design and make it more accessible to people on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/cutestpatoot. And basically everything will always be announced on Twitter at the Brandy Rose. Anything that I'm doing, what I'm eating, what I look like, and if I did my makeup and it looks nice, you'll see all of that on Twitter. So yeah, some big love. God, everybody did so amazingly. I do. Oh God, I have. I have a lot of love for every character, but Honey made me laugh so many times. I had to be like, keep your face, and it's just the Moses and his shoes bit about killed me. I just think Belle is such an instantly like just recognizable like full character and just a joy to watch. I mean, everybody's a joy to watch, but in this episode I really got to see a lot of really cool Belle moments where you got to show some of your like history and like talents that come from it, and a lot of like the heritage, which is also love to Trooper for being able to incorporate backstory really nicely into this.
I forgot the name of the bread, by the way. I was searching for it.
Oh,
The name of the flatbread that
that we had for breakfast.
yes, I it's like it's a particular kind of flatbread that's done by Plains Indians, and I can't remember the name of it. It's a I was like, oh, I was looking for the name and I can't remember it, but it's a really, I was gonna name it, but I forgot it.
Maybe
Sorry.
next time. I
I'll
will
get it next
hopefully
time.
have more breakfasts with my soon to be husband, which
Unless he
was
dies.
don't he will not. I hope he
I'm
will
sure if you
not.
fix the problem, everything will be fine.
I will fix that damn problem. But yeah, the other like for sure love, as you nailed that perfectly. I was very nice to be able to role play. And that is also partially what is on Nori's mind. Nori's mind is a 50-50 split between where are my babies and am I getting married? I'm getting married. Am I getting married? I'm getting married. I have to tell, oh no. I have to tell my family. And it's not like they're gonna have a problem. It's more they've been waiting for this and I don't like it when they're right. And also, she did not anticipate becoming engaged today. She wasn't even really sure James actually had, conscious, actionable feelings for her.
That's how he
fully.
felt.
So, but that's what happens when you spend your life with somebody and have an unspoken thing because you don't speak it. Nobody knows.
You never defined the relationship. There was no DTR.
Exactly. So but they define their relationship now. And so yeah, her mind is a mixture of trying to focus on the task at hand and not think about how sleepy everybody looks, how pale James looked after they got engaged, which was also like, oh god. So yeah, her brain is this absolute whirlwind, and at the center of it is Buttercup, and Buttercup's adorable dopey little face with the no lights on. If you guys have seen Michael the llama on TikTok, not a light not a light behind those eyes. Not a single light behind Buttercup's eyes.
Your poor ranch hands are so groggy.
Oh, and sore.
Yeah. Honey, who are you? Give some love to somebody in cast and tell me. So glad you have salt. What in the world is Belle thinking right about now?
I'm Honey, aka Honey and Dice. You can find me on Twitter at Honey and Dice. You can find most of what I'm doing at honeyanddice.com. You can find me on Instagram at Honey and Dice. There is actually something there. Probably won't be anything again for like months and months, but hey, I can't say there's nothing there anymore. I I write games, I run games, I play games. I tell people to love themselves because you all make the world that I live in worth living in. And I'm so thankful that I get to share time with all the cast members, all of the viewers, and so on. You are valid, you are amazing. Things are difficult right now, but guess what? I'm here for you, and so are so many other people. And what is going through Belle's mind as she rides, she's calculating the distance she wants to stay away, the distance how that she saw the glint is letting herself fall back into automatic patterns. And if someone was listening to her brain, it would just be, please don't let me fail again. Let my eyes be sharp and my hands be steady. Let the shadows welcome back their daughter. May I save them from a timeless slaughter. And she just repeats it over and over in her head as she rides along.
Which brings us to Danny. I love this whole cast. Danny, who are you? Give some hype, give some love. Wait, honey, did you give love to somebody in the cast?
I'm so used to loving everybody. I
A
do.
moment that you loved.
Yeah, the moment that I really loved is when everybody came together and it was like, we've not slept well.
Yeah.
I did sleep well and had a wonderful night and morning. I potentially ruined several people's lives, and I've got some grits. Like the the connection between the two, it was a beautiful moment. And I love how everybody is just reacting in such a human way and not a, hey, I'm a hero, I know what to do. Everyone is just reacting to what is happening to them. And that is an amazing thing.
Which leads me to Danny. Who are you? Give some hype, give some love to somebody in the cast. And I would like to ask you to tell me what your character is thinking right now. And I'm going to allow you to interpret that however you will.
Yeah.
And not in a way to make the audience or anybody else around the table feel nervous.
Sounds good. Hey, y'all, my name is Danny. I am the internet's emotional support himbo. You can find me all over the internet at Brutal Dan. That's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm also the community manager for Roll20, and this cast is just a joy to play. I think one of my favorite scenes was just Quinn at the beginning. Like that was so
Quinn.
enthralling. Like that whole, woo, like you held your cool better than I could, and you were standing toe to toe to that demon. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. And what Raiden is thinking about now is that I think that the scene of Belle and Raiden riding off into the distance, it kind of zooms into Raiden's face, and something seems off. And then it kind of zooms into one eye and then back out into a point of view of a disheveled Belle's room. Looking around, you can hear a random mooing downstairs. Buttercup was not tied up at all. And then the camera kind of pans out and you see a tied up Raiden on the bedpost, hands behind the back, a bruised eye, and a handkerchief around the mouth, and just rope on the ankles, around the torso, and hands behind the back. And that's what Raiden's thinking. Is just like, I hope everything's okay. And he's running through so many scenarios in his head. He just got tied up by his long lost twin. He's trying to looking around the room, how is he going to get out of here? So his mechanical brain is thinking of like, what can I create right now to free myself? And yeah, there's just a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things going on.
I'm going to share my love right now to Danny, because I did not tell Danny that's what happened, but Danny knew. Danny knew. I did not message Danny saying, Danny, your evil twin, which exists, by the way, is going to come up and knock you unconscious. But Danny knew. I didn't even have to say. Danny knew. And that was the best ever. I love a good, that's all I'm saying. So I'm Trooper SJP. I am your balladeer for this matter. I feel like there might be a shootout next episode if you want to see how that goes. I'm not saying 100% there'll be a shootout, but I'm going to say there's some people who might want to shoot them. So, and also get them away from town for no particular reason. But somebody's got like a bunch of salt on them, which I'm very excited about because that's how you break zombies from their situation. If you know your Haitian voodoo mythology, salt is how you get people from how you break them because they're not actually dead exactly. Anyway, I wouldn't worry about it. It'll be fine. So I feel like that's my hype, right? Like this cast is amazing. I loved Danny's like knowing it. I loved the kind of real feeling of like lived inness that Brandy brought to Nori with that scene with James. I loved how Quinn was able to be like, I'm totally not nervous about this at all, but was also able to let you know that actually Moses was totally nervous about this. Like, and Moses was like, no, like it was all bluff. And like, you could see both the bravado and the nervousness, but also I gave Quinn a very hard choice for Moses, which was, will you turn in your brother and make yourself look like a narc? Like, and that's what the demon wants, is to look like a narc. And like, Moses said yes. And I was like, oh, there'll be revenge later. I know Moses is going to go and do bad things to this demon. I'm so excited for it. And Belle, first off, honey, can I tell you, the salt made me so happy. Like as a GM, I was like, oh, you've got salt on you. Yes, because there are traditional zombies. Yes, it was like the best thing ever, and I was so happy. So I just love this cast. I love all of y'all. And what is this? Today's Tuesday. You can find me on Friday at 7 p.m. on my channel, Trooper SJP, where I'll be running City of Light and Shadow, a Fate French Resistance campaign. And I love this crew, and I am very excited for some shootouts next week, and how one of their members may not actually be their best friend. Y'all, this is Haunted West, done by Chris Spivey. You can pre-order it on Roll20 and get all the stuff, but you can also get the book itself, which is a beast of a tome. Pick it up with one hand. It's like over 800 pages. It is beautiful. It's got great art. It's really well written. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there going on. So go and get it if you're interested. You can also get the PDF out there. And the last thing I want to say before I let you all go is, dear players whom I love very, very much, I would like to give you a present because you put up with me. 15 XP for you all for the next session. So have some 15 XP for the last 3 that we've had. And, yeah. That's what I'm going to say. Everyone out there in chat, take care of yourselves, be kind, give love to others, and give love to yourself. And, go listen to All Night Long by Lionel Richie. That's the last thing I have to say. That's it. Bye, everybody. And thank you, Dot, for being our producer.